That's where all the money is.
Yeah.
That's where all the decision makers are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Eddie and Sam this week. James Bartell is having a little break, largely because I was overseas. So good on you, Jimmy. You gave you the week off. He's filled in for me enough, so we thought we'd give him a break. And Sam Docherty, who's been a wonderful fill-in for us during the year, but also, mate, congratulations on everything you're doing with Dan Gorringe and also your own podcast, I think, and 3AW as well.
Going on.
Mate, it's been great. I think you've been a really good, clear voice in the media this year, so congratulations.
No, thank you. And as Jimmy would say about you when you're away, Jimmy's probably guts up in the sun today, just having a bit of relax and maybe having a beer for himself.
We can find some sun in Melbourne. Good luck to him. Righto, let's go. Don't forget, send your emails to Eddie and Jimmy at tapt, T-A-P-T, tappedmedia.com.au. Brought to you by Fiji Airways and Hyundai. Hyundai do big things. Get the new Alexio. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. And Fiji Airways, visit FijiAirways.com to book your flight to Fiji and beyond. Fiji Airways, where happiness takes flight. And what I love about it, Fiji, you can have a little break or a 3-hour break, 2-hour turnaround, 2 to 3 hours turnaround, straight into Japan if you want to go to Tokyo to ski, straight into Vancouver if you want to ski, Los Angeles and San Francisco, absolutely, and then the world from there. Or on the way back, maybe have 4 or 5 days just to get the tan up.
Sounds like a man that's done this before.
Mate, you've got to look at how you break these things up. It is really the Dubai of the Pacific, Fiji, as far as breaking up that place. Go there, have a few days, and straight into Brisbane, Melbourne, and Sydney. Fantastic.
I am contemplating going to Fiji at the end of the year. So,
well, the good news is they've got the new planes, and it works on your One World. Everything's going, and they are the friendly skies. Simple as that.
Well, there you go.
Righto, I'm going to ask you a few questions, Doc. Jump in, okay? Hayden says the future of GWS. Surely the only way Canberra ever gets a team in the AFL is if GWS becomes the New South Wales Giants. Is he rewriting what I said a couple of weeks ago here? Anyway, the AFL is warmly received in the ACT. I think you could take back the city from rugby league and get a lot of players and supporters of the game. What do you think?
Well, it's an interesting one, and I think you have been quite vocal on this one. But has the experiment worked in New South Wales, west of Sydney? Is it worth considering to keep going down that path, or is it worth going to the ACT where they don't have a team? And I'm probably down that path as well. I think that ACT and Canberra embrace the Giants as well as anywhere. And
well, I'd get them a new sponsor, Old El Paso. Yeah. I'll have both.
So what would you call them? New South Wales Giants?
Or something, or even just Giants. But I like New South Wales Giants. GWS doesn't exist. It's not a place. You can't say, I'll get you at Greater Western Sydney for a coffee. You know, I get the idea. It was adopted off the back of the Western Bulldogs.
Yes.
It went from Footscray to the Western Bulldogs, and they were able to, through Peter Gordon, really ramp that up in the western suburbs of Melbourne, and it was good. Didn't take off early, but they got there eventually. And it was brought in by David Smorgan. For me, I think actually the Giants are thinking about this anyway, so I'm not giving them their homework. They're talking about this. I would use the Giants, and I think this is where people make the mistake. They're not trying to be Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon, West Coast Eagles, Hawthorn, even the Sydney Swans. They are a marketing opportunity for us. So I would play more games in Canberra. I'd still play out in the west of Sydney, but I think they need the support out there. We need to get the infrastructure right. I think the AFL, I don't know what happened, how we let Stadium Australia, or whatever it's called these days, out there. I remember being in the room as a president, putting my hand up to vote for the AFL to put $5 million, which was a big whack at that stage, into making sure you could keep those games. And then we played those big games and finals out there. So I'd like to see that come back in some way, shape or form. That would be the type of investment in infrastructure that we need to have out there. But I agree with what Hayden's saying.
Would you move the whole club to Canberra?
No.
As a base, or keep that in Western Sydney?
You can keep it there.
Yeah.
But
just
one or the other. But Canberra, that's where all the money is.
Yeah.
That's where all the decision makers are. You know, we grand final day, we try to get all the politicians into a room so we can put them in a headlock and try and get some money out of them. But, you know, if you got them there every week, it makes it a lot easier.
I'm not against it.
So,
Hayden?
You know, I think that's a real opportunity there. So not only for the club, but also for the competition.
Yes.
And that's where they're at. And I just want to say, though, in saying that, I'm not knocking GWS. I think they've done a really good job with their football team. I think they've done as best they can. I think they need more money, to be honest, to be put in there. And, Andrew Pridham will be on the phone straight away. But, and I support the Swans in that situation as well. My only issue has always been about making sure that everyone can get access to the talent. But I have always been supportive of the academies. They don't always say that, but back in the early days, I was a very strong proponent of it. But it needs to be for the whole competition as well. Anyway.
But to the point of the question around if we can bring Canberra into the game more, I think it's going to be more beneficial for the league as well.
Hayden, I'm in vigorous agreement. Sean, Swans chances. Swans chances. What do you think the chances of Sydney winning the premiership? As a Swans supporter, I'm hopeful but nervous given recent grand final performances. Well, different coach, different players, different day.
Yeah, it is different coach, different players. They're the same fans though, because I know I get a lot of this communication. There's a genuine fear of Swans supporters about grand final. It's not often that your team is terrified of grand final day. Most are happy.
What's big and green and eat Swans?
What's that? Sorry.
What's big and green and eat Swans?
I don't know.
The MCG. Yeah. Now I can say that because that's an adaptation of what's big and green eats magpies. All right, I copped that for years. All right. So,
well, both true by the sounds of it.
Let me put this to you. Part of the thinking of where Collingwood used to fall down in getting those grand finals, one, sometimes they were the talent level wasn't there, and they got there on grit and determination. I mean, let's not forget we got stiffed a few times. Got 64, 4 points. Last kick of the game, shouldn't have been there. Crompton, 66, Barry Breen's point, Tuddy takes a bounce and kicks it through. 70, the one we don't want to talk about, 44 points up it, and Peter McKenna didn't get that free kick, 77. Carmen shouldn't have got rubbed out. Well, we should have got rubbed out, but he, stiff.
This feels like therapy.
79, yeah. Harms,
you're purging here.
Harms, yeah. 81, we're in front, Peter Moore couldn't get a kick because he had that torn hamstring. Need I go on?
Oh.
Have a look at the 2002 grand final. Don't get me started with that. Okay, anyway, back to where we were. But I think part of what it was, though, was Collingwood played on that small Victoria Park that used to be completely a mud heap back in those days. And when they got to the MCG, when spring hit, those Richmonds, and particularly in those days, used to playing on the big grounds. I wonder whether the Sydney Swans, with their
circumference of their own.
And I also wonder sometimes about Geelong.
Yeah.
You can get to the finals, but have you got the game plan to execute it on the big ground?
Yeah, and ultimately that's part of the reason why the stadium out west, the Cray Pot or whatever it's called these days, that is MCG size because of
close enough. It's
close enough. Yeah, so to get their teams used to, it's already hard enough coming over here and travelling the long flight, let alone the ground dimensions, and that is the challenge of other teams that train and play on their own oval. You get used to playing that way.
The Perth Stadium ovals, it's almost perfect, I reckon.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't fault it.
No,
as far as the dimensions, a little bit skinnier than the MCG. But you can still spread.
Yeah, you've still got enough room.
And you've got it takes a few plays to get it from one end to the other, as opposed to other grounds. So
chances of the Swans, I still really like the Swans. I think they've got everything they need. It's a matter of performing in the big games when it comes September, and then ultimately, if they get to the grand final, getting over that mini hoodoo that sits around the club.
Rightio, Jake, welfare levy. With insurers scaling back cover for concussions, a welfare levy could solve the AFL's class action and prevent similar situations to what has occurred with the Geelong Football Club in the last week or so. Last year, the AFL had 1.36 million club members and 8.2 million tickets were sold. Adding a $2 levy onto every ticket and membership would raise over 19 million annually. What are your thoughts on using a welfare levy model for automatic payouts for medically retired players and shielding clubs in the league from future litigation issues?
It's not a bad idea. There's whose responsibility is to pay for the workplace safety. It can be passed on anyway. In terms of the insurers going back, I think there will be opportunities for an insurance company to step up, and you probably have to pay a fair premium to be able to insure yourself from concussion these days. So I think someone will come to the party in that space at some point.
Yeah, I think we have to get it sorted out.
Yeah.
And I think Geelong went part of the way to that. Now, they, as we've said the other day, they've mucked up the execution, but, that's probably where it's going to go. Rightio. jumper clash. Oh, this is one of my favourites. In 1999, the Costa-McGuire pact was signed. Well, nothing was actually signed, but it was an agreement that we had, allowing Geelong to wear a predominantly white Guernsey and Collingwood to adopt its black dominant Guernsey from the 2000 season onwards. Now, there's an add to that, is that we also would wear the black shorts and all black socks in the days when people actually pull their socks up. So the hoop socks actually made a difference back then, and the white. And I remember the day, it was a really wet game at the MCG, and Collingwood had the old white jumper, which most of them had long sleeves this day, and it was basically, there was a couple of 3 stripes here, so it was white and the big white patch to put the number on, and it was just white everywhere. And you just couldn't tell in the mud what was going on. So Frank and I actually said that because Frank liked the idea of them being white with blue hoops. And I changed the jumper to the 1917 style jumper, which was black with white stripes, as opposed to what had become very white with a couple of black stripes. And it worked. There's never been a problem. I'll continue with a question from Warren. Since then, the Cats Pies clash has generally been one of the AFL's best from a jumper perspective, aside from the 2019 qualifying final debacle, which is when Geelong wore the blue shorts again.
Yes.
Right? And somebody wanted to fight back then, and I said, no, it was actually an agreement. And Geelong came back and said, we've got no record of the agreement. I said, well, I did it. And Frank and I, because you know what, we were sitting next to each other going, this is ridiculous.
No one's got any recollection.
I said, why don't you wear white shorts? And he said, yeah, we'll try that out. And the next time we played, we went, beauty, it worked. Common sense. However, whenever Collingwood is the home team against the big Victorian clubs, Essendon, Carlton, Richmond, Melbourne, St Kilda, Hawthorn, the opposition is often required to wear white shorts despite not having white in its Guernsey. Should there be an agreement for Collingwood to wear its traditional white-based home kit against these clubs to better preserve tradition and create a clearer visual contrast between the jumpers? Can I give you my...
You go for it.
Because I have studied this. You know what the colour that cocks everything up the most as far as clash is white. So what do? We make teams wear white shorts. The shorts used to be Warwick Kappa style, Speedos. Now they're like board shorts, a lot more. Well, not as much as they used to be, but you know what I'm talking about. So again, now they don't have any socks on. It's the shorts and the jumper that makes a difference. Bright colours are in. Once upon a time, if you wore anything that was bright, you were, pilloried. These days, the opportunity to have fluoro type of colours. So the Bombers now, when they wear red shorts, remember they did it when they brought in colour TV? You're too young for this. When they brought colour TV in, that's why they started wearing these garish, but they were Jonkos, they were dyed. Now they're proper colours and it works, right? The jumper has changed in texture and fabric and everything else. So if you had Richmond wearing yellow shorts or black shorts and Essendon wearing red shorts, there's no problem.
I know the home team gets to wear the home shorts and the away team is the white shorts. I don't think at AFL level it should really matter. It's just what's going to be the best spectacle online to allow fans to watch it.
I went off my head at Collingwood when we'd play Carlton, because there was a couple of years there where we both had red sponsors, and I actually I'd organised a third Collingwood jumper, which was the predominantly white on the front, right, but having the reverse of Carlton, so it would be white on the back. So I'll take that back. It's the other way around. Predominantly black on the front with the white stripes, which makes the difference. White shorts is the away team, and having white on the back. And they came to me when we were playing Carlton as them being the AFL, and said to me, all right, we're going to make Carlton wear a clash jumper, thinking I'd be rapt that it was, an annoy Carlton. I said, no. No, we want to play Collingwood, black and white stripes against Carlton, navy blue. Okay, let's keep that. It has worked for so long. But what we have to work out is the sponsors' colours and the back of the jumper, so that you didn't have Carlton running towards the boundary line with a white number and Collingwood running towards the boundary line with black with a white number. That's the only thing. They got it right this year and there's been no problem.
Hasn't been a problem at all. That's there still is the odd jumper clash at the moment that's hard to reconcile how that got ticked off. But
it's when the umpires have a clash, because that's where it came back. We did it on the footy show. I called a game one year where, remember the umpires used to have the blue sash and the blue socks? And they were playing North Melbourne against the Western Bulldogs. Everyone was running around in red, white and blue. It was unbelievable. You couldn't tell.
Extra defenders.
It was just ridiculous. Anyway, Julian asks, broadcast quality. There are 207 games being played and broadcast this year across 7 Foxtel and KO. 206 of these games are available on Foxtel and KO at 4K and 50 FPS. Crystal clear, high-quality video. The sole exception is the grand final, which, as you know, is a 7 exclusive. The biggest game of the year is broadcast at a maximum of 1080p on 7+. It's 2026, and for a sport as big as ours, this is embarrassing. I don't mind the high-definition Channel 7 picture, but I get what Julian's saying here is that the 4K does jump off the screen. Do you do that when you get onto Foxtel and it comes up? You click to 4K and you go bang, you go, oh, geez.
I haven't noticed it, to be honest.
Haven't you?
No.
Oh, yeah, it does. It is. What Julian's saying is 100% right. With the current media rights deal lasting until 2031, is there anything that can be done about this in the meantime? It's a very good question. I'll take it on notice and I'll come back with the answer next week.
Okay.
Because I'll need to speak to a techo. But
this is above my head.
I absolutely agree with what Julian's saying. Yeah.
The better. Well,
the 4K.
If we've got the tech to be able to use it and we use it enough, then I think it should be used as much.
Well, when you see it in standard definition, it's like looking through your next door neighbour's window trying to watch the game. You know, not that I look through my next door neighbour's window that often, but you know what I mean. Yeah. But yeah, the 4K is dynamite.
Yeah,
trust me. Gary Fraser to North. All right.
Here we go.
Listening to Josh Fraser's presser, he seemed once again to shortchange himself for the senior job. He's playing it down. I believe the ideal job for him, considering his own elevation of himself, would be as the understudy in Alistair Clarkson's last year, next year, Fraser taking over in 2028. Ideal job for him with an improving list. What do you think?
Well, I think he gets the Blues job, so I don't think that will be the case. Yep. And
let's say he doesn't. It's not a bad idea.
I've said this before. It's his first year at the Blues. I think even if he doesn't get the job, I think he stays at the Blues. And what a great asset to have for if he doesn't get the job, and you've got Josh Fraser there to be able to help in the evolution of what's happened at the club over the year and what worked, what didn't work. To be able to help an incoming coach would be unbelievable. I don't think the club would want to lose Josh Fraser regardless. But
if Clarko finishes strongly, he's right for next year. He's got a contract. They won't.
Well, he's already. They
won't sack him. He's not going anywhere. But you've also got Adam Simpson and John Longmire. If they wanted to come back, that would be the fairy tale.
That would be a story, wouldn't it?
Do we like the fairy tales?
No, we do like fairy tales, don't we, Ed?
Yeah, we do. I like it when it's
like the theatre in the game. It's good.
I love the club champions coming back. Yeah.
No, it'd be good. And
everyone goes all Moneyball, but there's still a bit of that. You want the DNA of your club.
Yeah, and we're seeing examples of that. And as I said before, there's different coaches for different footy clubs, and every seat is different. And maybe Clarko's currently, I still think that North have improved a fair bit this year. I know that it's probably not as big as what everyone would love, but he's still got that group moving forward, and I think they're on the precipice of some success.
Having said that, Craig McRae, Collingwood. You see him as a Collingwood man now.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
But Mick Malthouse barracked for Collingwood, so I knew he had that in him. I knew he had that, Yeah,
you sent him across to the Blues to destroy us, didn't you?
Well, that's why we gave him a Collingwood Life membership for services to Collingwood when he was Carlton coach.
Very good, very good.
All right, mate. Thanks again.
No worries.
You want to come back tomorrow and do our tips?
Tomorrow. Yeah, I'll come back tomorrow. Same clothes tomorrow as well, I think.
Yep, same clothes, same everything. Follow Eddie and Jimmy wherever you get your podcast. Visit us on Instagram, YouTube. Search for Eddie and Jimmy. If you're watching this, you've already done it, so you know the routine, don't you? But thanks to our good friends at Deep Heat. Thanks to everyone at Hyundai. And go and test drive these cars. They're fantastic. And, of course, Fiji Airways. This has been Eddie and Jimmy.